Here's something that'll make you want to throw your pink razor across the room. Women pay nearly $1,500 more per year than men for essentially the same products. Same ingredients, same function, same everything. Except one crucial difference: the price tag. Welcome back to Money Melly, where we expose the financial nonsense that costs you real money. Today we're diving deep into the pink tax. What it is, which products are secretly draining your wallet, and most importantly, the exact strategies you can use right now to stop paying it. Because spoiler alert, that pink razor isn't actually worth double the price of the blue one. What is the pink tax? Let's start with the basics. The pink tax isn't actually a government tax that shows up on your receipt. You won't find a line item that says, "Woman surcharge, $5.99. Instead, the pink tax refers to the practice of charging more for products and services marketed specifically to women compared to nearly identical products marketed to men. We're talking about the same razor with the same blade, the same shampoo with the same ingredients, the same toy with the same functionality. But slap a pink label on it, or market it to women, and boom, instant price increase. Here's the kicker. A comprehensive study by the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs analyzed almost 800 products across 35 categories and found that women's products cost 7% more on average than similar products for men. And that happened 42% of the time they compared products. But it gets worse. The categories where women get hit the hardest? Personal care products, where women pay 13% more. 13% for shampoo, razors, lotion, and deodorant. The everyday essentials you buy over and over again throughout your life. The products that will shock you. Now let's talk about where you're actually losing money. Because once you see these examples, you'll never unsee them. Personal care products, the biggest offender. This is where the pink tax hits hardest. Personal care products for women cost 13% more than men's versions on average. Razors. Women's razors can cost up to 11% more than men's razors. Often the only difference is the color and maybe a moisture strip that does absolutely nothing extra. Same blade, same function, higher price. Shampoo and conditioner. Here's where it gets really wild. Women's shampoo costs on average 48% more, almost half again as much, than men's shampoo. Studies found popular women's shampoos costing about $3 more than comparable men's products. And when you're replacing these bottles multiple times per year, those dollars add up fast. Deodorant. Women's deodorant often comes in slightly smaller sizes, but costs the same price as men's versions. For example, men might get a 2.7-ounce stick, while women get a 2.6-ounce stick at the exact same price. You're literally getting less product for the same money. Lotions. This category is particularly egregious. One study found that lotion for women costs an average of $2.97 per ounce compared to $1.86 per ounce for men's lotion. That's a 60% markup. Body wash. Men's body wash often pulls double or triple duty with claims like shampoo and conditioner in one, meaning guys need fewer products overall. Meanwhile, women are marketed separate products for every possible need, each with its own price tag. Clothing from childhood to adulthood. The pink tax doesn't wait until you're an adult. It starts in childhood and follows women throughout their entire lives. Girls' clothing. Clothing for girls costs 4% more than boys' clothing on average. And this isn't just about fancy dresses versus t-shirts. We're talking about basic items like jeans, which cost 10% more for women than men. Adult women's clothing. Women's clothing costs 8% more than men's clothing across the board. And here's something that'll really annoy you. In schools, girls' school uniforms cost 12% more than boys' uniforms. Same school, same uniform requirements, different price based solely on gender. Import tariffs. Here's a behind-the-scenes factor most people don't know about. Certain imported women's clothing items face higher tariffs when entering the United States compared to men's items. These costs get passed directly to consumers, meaning you're paying more before the product even hits store shelves. Toys. Yes, even children's toys. If you have kids or buy gifts for children, prepare to be infuriated. Toys marketed to girls cost 7% more on average than toys for boys. Pink bikes, pink scooters, pink helmets, all more expensive than their blue or red counterparts, despite being functionally identical. Companies are literally charging little girls more for the privilege of liking pink. Services where the pink tax gets personal. The pink tax extends beyond products you can hold in your hand. Services cost women more too. Haircuts. Women routinely pay 20 to 40% more for haircuts than men, even for simple cuts that take the same amount of time and skill. Dry cleaning. Women's clothing costs significantly more to dry clean than men's clothing. The industry claims this is because women's clothing has more variety and requires hand pressing versus machine pressing. But when you bring in a simple women's button-down shirt that looks nearly identical to a men's dress shirt, you're still charged more. Car repairs. Some studies suggest women are quoted higher prices for identical car repairs, likely because of assumptions that women are less likely to negotiate or question the estimate. Why does the pink tax exist? You're probably wondering, how is this legal? How do companies get away with this? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Gender-based pricing on products isn't illegal in most of the United States. Only California and New York have laws preventing some forms of gender-based price discrimination on services, and even those have loopholes. Companies justify the pink tax in several ways. Product differentiation. They claim women's products have different features, like added fragrances or special ingredients, that justify the higher cost. But here's the problem. When researchers analyze the actual ingredients, they find minimal or no differences that would account for the price gaps. Marketing costs. Companies argue they spend more on marketing and packaging for women's products. But that's a choice they make, not a justification for charging you more. Consumer willingness to pay. This is the most frustrating excuse. Companies claim women are simply willing to pay more for products that align with feminine aesthetics and scents. They're essentially saying, we charge more because we can. Tariffs and import costs. For some products, particularly clothing, there are legitimate differences in import tariffs. But this explains only a fraction of the price disparities we see. The real reason the pink tax persists? Because it's profitable, and most women don't realize they're paying it. Until now. The compounding effect. Why this matters so much. Here's where the pink tax becomes more than just annoying. It becomes a serious financial burden that compounds existing inequalities. Women already earn less than men. According to recent data, women working full-time earn 83 cents for every dollar men earn. For women of color, this gap is even wider. Black women earn about 79 cents, and Hispanic women earn 78 cents for every dollar white men make. So we're starting with less money. Then we're forced to pay more for basic necessities. And we live longer than men on average, 80.5 years compared to 75 years for men, meaning we need our money to stretch further over our lifetimes. Do the math on this compounding effect. Lower earnings plus higher expenses over a longer lifespan equals a significant wealth gap. Some estimates suggest the pink tax costs women up to $188,000 over their lifetimes. Think about what you could do with an extra $188,000. Retirement savings, emergency fund, down payment on a house, college savings for your kids, investment portfolio. Instead, it's going toward overpriced pink razors. How to stop paying the pink tax. Practical strategies. All right, enough with the bad news. Let's talk solutions. Here are the specific strategies you can use right now to avoid paying the pink tax. Strategy 1. Cross-shop the men's section. This is the easiest and most effective strategy. When you're buying personal care products, check what's available in the men's section. Men's razors work exactly the same as women's razors. The only differences are usually the color, the angle of the handle, and maybe some marketing about being designed for faces versus legs. But hair is hair, and blades are blades. If you don't care about smelling like Mountain Fresh or Arctic Blast, men's deodorant, body wash, and shampoo will work perfectly fine and cost significantly less. One person I know saves over $200 per year just by buying men's razors and men's deodorant instead of the women's versions. Strategy 2. Calculate the price per ounce. This requires a tiny bit of math, but saves serious money. Women's products often come in smaller quantities but cost the same or more as men's products. Most stores now list the price per ounce on shelf tags. Compare this number, not just the total price. You'll often find that even when the package prices look similar, you're getting far less product in the women's version. Use the calculator on your phone if needed. The few extra seconds of math can save you hundreds over the course of a year. Strategy 3. Buy gender-neutral or unscented products. More brands are creating gender-neutral product lines specifically to combat the pink tax. These products avoid gendered marketing and typically offer better value. Look for products that emphasize function over gender: moisturizing body wash, sensitive skin deodorant, gentle shampoo, rather than products marketed as for women or for men. Unscented products are particularly good bets because fragrance is often the excuse companies use to charge different prices. No fragrance means no justification for the markup. Strategy 4. Go generic or store brand. Generic and store brands often have identical or very similar formulas to name brands, but cost 30% less on average. CVS, Target, Walmart, and other major retailers have their own versions of most personal care products. Check the ingredient lists. You'll often find they match the brand name products almost exactly. The main difference? Less money spent on fancy packaging and celebrity endorsements. And you're not paying the pink tax markup. Strategy 5. DIY natural alternatives for some products. For certain products, making your own can save massive amounts of money and avoid the pink tax entirely. Natural alternatives like coconut oil for makeup remover and moisturizer, brown sugar or sea salt scrubs mixed with oil, or honey and yogurt face masks cost pennies compared to store-bought versions. Pinterest and YouTube are treasure troves of DIY beauty product recipes. Start with 1 or 2 products you use regularly and see if there's a DIY alternative that works for you. Strategy 6. Buy in bulk when you find good prices. When you find products that aren't subject to the pink tax or are on sale, stock up. Personal care products don't expire quickly, and buying in bulk when prices are good protects you from future price increases. This works especially well for basics like razors, soap, and shampoo. Just make sure you have the storage space. Strategy 7. Shop secondhand for clothing and toys. The pink tax on clothing and toys can be completely avoided by shopping secondhand. Thrift stores, consignment shops, and online resale platforms offer the same items for a fraction of retail prices. For kids' items especially, this makes tremendous sense since children outgrow everything so quickly anyway. You're avoiding both the initial markup and the pink tax. Strategy 8. Negotiate service prices. For services like haircuts and dry cleaning, don't be afraid to ask questions and negotiate. Ask your dry cleaner why women's shirts cost more than men's shirts if they're similar styles. Some cleaners have been successfully challenged on this and changed their pricing. For haircuts, if you want a simple style that takes the same time as a men's cut, ask why the price is different. Some salons charge by time and complexity rather than gender, which is more fair. Strategy 9. Vote with your wallet and your voice. Support companies that have committed to price equality. Boxed, for example, has publicly committed to pricing products equally on a per-ounce basis regardless of gender marketing. When you see egregious examples of the pink tax, call it out. Take photos, post on social media, and tag the companies. Public pressure works. Companies have changed pricing policies after being called out online. Leave reviews mentioning the pink tax. Contact customer service. Let companies know you're aware of their pricing practices and you're choosing competitors who price more fairly. Strategy 10. Know your rights where they exist. If you live in California, New York, or Miami-Dade County in Florida, there are laws against gender-based price discrimination for services. If you're being charged different prices for substantially similar services, you can file complaints. Even if you don't live in these areas, more states are considering similar legislation. Contact your state representatives and let them know you support laws against the pink tax. The bottom line. The pink tax is real, it's significant, and it costs women about $1,500 per year in additional expenses for products and services that should cost the same as men's versions. From personal care products to clothing, from toys to services, women face higher prices at nearly every turn. This compounds the gender wage gap and affects women's ability to build wealth over their lifetimes. But you don't have to be a passive victim of the pink tax. By comparison, shopping, buying men's or gender-neutral products, choosing store brands, DIYing some items, shopping secondhand, and speaking up about unfair pricing, you can avoid most of the pink tax and keep hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your pocket each year. Remember, companies charge the pink tax because it's profitable and because they think you won't notice or won't care enough to change your buying habits. Prove them wrong. Your purchasing decisions matter, your voice matters, and your financial future is too important to let pink packaging separate you from your hard-earned money. So next time you're in the drugstore reaching for that pink razor, stop, compare, calculate, and make the choice that's best for your wallet, not the company's profit margin. Because being a woman is expensive enough without voluntarily paying extra just because some marketing executive decided pink deserves a premium. Thanks for watching Money Melly. If this video opened your eyes to the pink tax and gave you practical strategies to fight back, smash that like button and subscribe for more money tips that actually help you keep more cash in your pocket. Drop a comment and let me know. What's the most outrageous example of the pink tax you've personally encountered? Have you already been avoiding it with some of these strategies? And remember, awareness is the first step to change. Share this video with the women in your life so we can all stop paying the pink tax together. See you in the next one.